Hey there, welcome back to Reddit XO, the best channel for Reddit cheating stories. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more stories like these. I believe my girlfriend of 2 years has been cheating on me with her younger brother. I'm not sure how to go about this, so just please bear with me. Here's a bit of background. I am 24 years old and my girlfriend is 24 as well. We have been dating for 2 years and she has recently moved in with me 8 months ago. Her younger brother is 16. I didn't want to write to out, but I'm stuck on what to do, and I have no clue on how to go about this situation. This event happened around Christmas last year. This is when I've started to realize my girlfriend could be cheating on me with her younger brother. Me and my girlfriend decided to spend a night at my girlfriend's parents' house to celebrate Christmas with them. On Christmas Eve, we went to visit my family. I drove 4 hours and arrived at my parents' home around 1 p.m. on Christmas Eve, and we spent a couple of hours there. My girlfriend's parents lived 7 hours away from my parents. So around 6 p.m., we left my parents' house and I drove us to her parents' home. We got there around 2 a.m. in the morning and I was exhausted from driving all day. We got to her parents' house, into her old room, and I just fell dead asleep. However, I woke up 2 hours later and it's like 4:30 in the morning, cause I had to take and I woke up and my girlfriend wasn't there. I didn't want to pry around her parents' home and look for her, so I just went to the bathroom, which is across her parents' room. When I got out, I heard some strange noises coming from her parents' room. I heard bed creaks and some faint moans. In my head, I was thinking like, okay, Mr. Getting it on with Mrs. A, Mr. and Mrs. is my girlfriend's parents. However, when I went back to our room, I bumped into Mr. Dada and I asked him what he was doing up. He told me he went to get some water for Mrs. A. I asked him where do they sleep now because I thought the bedroom across the bathroom was their room. He told me that when my girlfriend moved out, her younger brother moved into their room and my girlfriend parents moved into his room and renovated it to make it bigger. I was confused as hell and went back to lay down. I was thinking like, then why the hell did I hear moaning sounds and bed creeping sounds from my girlfriend's younger brother's room? I lied on the bed wide awake, but pretending to be asleep, just waiting for my girlfriend to return, and around 20 minutes later, she got into bed and just held me. I was sleeping facing away from her. That morning I didn't want to believe that my girlfriend is doing something with her younger brother. I have trust in her, and so I didn't speak to her about where she was in the morning and didn't ask about nothing, and just spent the day celebrating Christmas with her and her family. That's when I started to notice things. I remember that her younger brother would spend nights over my home, because he would tell me he loved playing with our dog. My girlfriend would pick him up and have him over a couple times each weekend. I remember coming home one night and her younger brother was at my home. Without me knowing, he was going to sleep over, and my girlfriend told me he had a fight with their parents and needed some time away from them. There were moments when I'd come home and see my girlfriend doing laundry, washing our bed sheets, when I clearly just washed them the other night, and her younger brother is over sleeping on the couch, and she tells me that I did a bad job on cleaning the bed sheets. So I decided to dig further. I pay for me and my girlfriend's phone bill, and I decided to check on the text messages she sent on her side. I have her younger brother's phone number, and I checked to see all the texts sent to his phone number from my girlfriend's phone, and I found some disturbing on there. My girlfriend would send texts like, "We can only when is at work. I'll tell that you wanted to go do some stuff today, and I'll be home in a couple of hours. When did you get so good? I'll get a wax today and I." Like, who the hell tells their younger brother that they are getting a wax? He haven't confronted my girlfriend yet, and I don't know how to go about this. Because I don't want to seem like I'm in and accusing like this, and if I went to her parents they would just think I'm just crazy. Any advice would be helpful, thanks. Update. I went to my older sister and her husband to talk to them about the situation I am in, and they both believe what I had to say. My sister just straight out told me to kick her out and just dump her and don't care what she does anymore. I still love her, and I don't want to believe it until I have concrete proof. I suggested security cameras from you guys, and they agree that would be a good idea. I showed them the messages, and they were disgusted what they read. I am going to place security cameras in my bedroom. However, I am going to buy a gun safe to make it seem non-conspicuous in the morning and place the security camera to visibly see the gun safe, but most importantly the bed, and I'll be placing one in the living room. My sister's husbands suggested giving them a spare key to my house so they can just drive by and feed my dog or whatever. They suggested that I find out the next time her younger brother comes over to my place so that when and if I'm working that day, they can try to catch the act. I'll try to keep you all updated. I don't want to believe that she is doing this, but I need to find out the truth for my sanity's sake. Edit. A lot have asked how I read the text messages, and this is how. Me and my girlfriend both have iPhones that are both under my iCloud account and are regularly backed up to the iCloud. I cannot see SMS text messages. However, using my Mac, which has my iCloud account, I can use her phone iCloud backup and restore that version onto my phone since it's both under my iCloud account and I am able to see the iMessages she has sent containing both the iMessage and who it was sent to. Story 2. My 20. Story with a physical and emotional abusive ex, 20, girlfriend who lied and said I was abusive. Writing this to help me deal with my emotions. My story is a weird one. Me and my ex-girlfriend got together around this time last year, and we were each other's first couple. We are both in college and went to different schools. We both never had relationships with anyone, albeit she tried and it never worked out. We were talking for about 2 months, and we started dating. In the beginning it was felt. Big emphasis on felt, not was. Great, but I knew how she was, and she didn't feel comfortable if I was in contact with anyone I've up with, and I felt the same way or people I've met on dating apps. I felt the same way, so we set that boundary. From the very first day, she could not keep that boundary. We went to a party and told people we weren't dating because no one was giving her attention. And then she proceeds to call in Uber so we can go to this dude's house. She met him on Hinge. She kept persisting, and I knew she was drunk and would not take no for an answer. The only reason I went with her would be so I wasn't liable for anything that happened to her. Eventually, she got so high from smoking a dab that I had to take care of her despite this first interaction, and I had to put my emotional concerns aside. Fast forward a few weeks, I see that she is still snapping and talking to people she met on Hinge. At the time, I let her stay with me for the weekend, and because it was Friday, I had class, and since she was staying home for remote learning, she was able to come up to stay with me. I see her talking and snapping those guys, even though she promised me that she stopped talking to everyone that she met and admitted that before we were together, she had FaceTime with one of them. Fast forward a few days, she tries to cut it off, but isn't being assertive enough and is being told that I was abusing her, despite her upholding the same standard for me, and was giving the tone that she is only doing this because she has to and not because she wants to uphold the boundaries we both set. We get into a big argument about how she doesn't respect me, and she kept telling me she does, and that I am one of the only genuine guys who has ever talked to her. Fast forward another few weeks, and she told me that a guy she met on Hinge, who she was still talking to, invited her to a frat party. The moment she said this guy's name, I got absolutely livid because she just basically admitted that she lied about everything, and she starts crying and saying she's sorry, which is basically just a manipulation tactic. Keep in mind, we are long distance, and I practically partied every single weekend. However, I never once talked to a single girl at a party unless it was one of my friend's girlfriends. During these parties that I attended, I would constantly be texting her every 5 minutes, and I would come back to my apartment extremely early before 11. Yes, I know, I am an idiot for constantly believing her when she said she was sorry. It was my first ever relationship. I should not have tolerated all the lying. Fast forward another few weeks. I have a few friends I have met on TikTok. One of them was a girl and was political TikToker, and so were the rest of the friends. I was sending all of them political TikToks, and my girlfriend got really upset that I was sending her more TikTok videos to this girl and her. Keep in mind, my ex knows nothing about politics, and whatever I was sending to this girl, I was sending to the rest of the friends I met. Eventually, she sees that I follow this girl on Instagram. I followed all of them. My girlfriend tells me she knows that I am stalking this girl and I am looking at her VSCO. I only looked at my ex's VSCO and nothing else because no one else mattered to me. I tell her that I did not and I never have. My ex proceeds to say that other people can see my VSCO search history, and I tell her that if that's true, then I don't remember it. Keep in mind, I never did, but I believed her when she said that because I thought she was telling the truth. So she tells me that she knows her worth and is not going to waste time with a guy that disrespects her like that, and she is going to call me later. So I call my other friend and ask if you can see other people's search history. You cannot, and my friend proceeds to ask all of the girls in her suite. They said you cannot. So I call my ex back and call her out for the gaslighting, lying, and other manipulation. She starts to cry and say sorry, while I am absolutely livid with her, screaming my head off because I am near my threshold. I become distant, but I know that I can't keep being angry because it won't be good for me or for her. Eventually, we reconcile. I know, I am an idiot. A lot more happens between then. She gets angry because I'm studying nonstop because I'm very academically focused and I was struggling a lot with organic chemistry too. She complains and starts wanting me to FaceTime her while I'm studying and distracting me, all while I'm still grieving the loss of my grandfather, who was basically my father. She comes for a weekend and we got to a party. She is pretty drunk and about an hour in, I walk in and I see her sitting on a dude's lap, touching his and getting ready to make out with him. I walk in and am the most angry I have ever been at her. She starts to tell me that she wasn't going to cheat on me and starts to physically hit me. I walk outside and she runs after me and keeps telling me she wasn't cheating while hitting me. I look at my arm and it's covered in bruises and scratch marks, something I still have to this day. She then starts to lie and tell me that my friends were hitting on her. The friend she said that was trying to get with her is one of my best friends and is the most sweet, genuine guy I know and doesn't like the idea of culture. Eventually, she starts drinking more and we call and Uber back with my friend that way we know does not get too out of hand. We talk back and she passes out drunk and tells me that she hates me and no one would believe that she hit me or cheated on me. They were just telling her that because she was crying in the middle of the party and hitting herself because she was mad. Eventually, she falls asleep and I'm up all night, not able to think about anything else. She wakes up and starts yelling and crying to me. She said she did not hit me too hard even though my arm had dried up blood and bruises on it. I try to break up and I am crying this full entire time because I have finally had enough. However, she refused to leave my apartment and said she could not go home until Monday because her brother was going to drive her. I wanted to call campus police, but because this was during COVID, no outside visitors would be allowed to come into the buildings, and if I called, they will know that I sneaked her and I could possibly be suspended, so I had to let her stay. We agreed that we were going to be still dating for the weekend, but after, we were on a break and I had to give her a decision whether we were going to pursue the relationship further at the end of 10 days. And sued is the parts of my life, we try to forget anything happened, and we basically just stayed in bed all day until I had to drop her off Monday. Every 30 minutes, I was stuck crying and she came to the realization that she did indeed cheat on me and physically and emotionally abuse me. Sometimes I would forget while we were watching movies together and for a split second, I was happy again. But right after, I would be depressed and crying because I knew what I was going to do. And, in a sense, she knows too. The 10 days go by and I tell her we are over and we are both crying. She is telling me to please not leave her and break up with her. She is telling me she is sorry for the damage she has done to me, sorry for cheating, sorry for hitting, sorry for playing with my emotions, sorry for lying, sorry for breaking boundaries. I started crying more and we break up, but are still in contact every day for a long time, I know. I made plans over the summer that we were going to do that I promised would happen. I don't break promises unless I absolutely have to for safety. We went to a beach with her friends from back home, and we were basically a couple again for that weekend. Crying was involved when I had to leave. She put on the facade that she matured and she knows what she did and why she did it. Abusive and neglectful father. So at this point, I am considering getting back with her. This whole entire time, I did not with anybody or pursue anybody else, because I knew I was still in love with this woman. She is still texting me and telling me she loves me and she misses all of the things I did. Kiss her ears, back hugs, watching Madagascar, the jokes I made. She missed all of it. At the same time, while I was considering getting back with her, she was talking to this other dude and me at the same time, who she is now currently dating. I found out and asked, and she said they were just friends and nothing else. We meet up during my syllabus week at the beginning of the fall 2021 semester, so I can give her back her stuff around 8 p.m. She gets me earlier because she was drinking with some of her friends, despite me waking up at 6 a.m. to drive 6.5 hours to meet her at a time we both initially planned. When we finally meet up, she sees me and says that she still loves me. She proceeded to kiss me and hold me while I was tearing up. She then asked me if I could walk her over to a restaurant with her friends. I walk her over because my college town can be a dangerous place. Before she goes in, she kisses me again and says, "I will never stop loving you, my name." However, I see through the window. It's the dude she told me was just her friend. Fast forward an hour, I see them both up in the middle of a club, and she had the audacity to get me to meet him after she had already kissed me. I tell her to never talk to me again, and she tries to talk me. Because I don't want to make a big deal in the middle of everyone, I tell her if she wants to talk, she has to go upstairs with me. She does but proceeds to make a phone call to that guy and runs into her arms like a scared baby, telling him and other people that I was going to hit her, and she is scared around me. I show the dude all of the I love you texts she sent me, and her response was, "Can we please go?" Other guy's name. "I'm gonna kill myself if we don't." She tells me to meet up with her at a location, and we get into an argument about how I would have been okay with all of that, albeit still sad if she didn't kiss me, tell me she loves me, and lie to me about the other dude the whole entire summer. She kept saying he was while I was considering getting back with her. I recorded the whole argument. I got video evidence of her admitting to lying about killing herself so she can get her away. I got video evidence of her admitting to lying, hitting me, and saying she doesn't care anymore. They are together. This guy is also, and since then, I have recovered. It has been a rough 5 months for me. I had started taking Zoloft for my depression, anxiety, and PTSD for my ex hitting me, cheating on me, and lying to me. I still have PTSD whenever a girl touches me, whether it be to grab my wrist or anything. I was on track to do a 2.5 GPAs this semester because of how bad the Zoloft was up my concentration and making me oversleep. Eventually, I said enough was enough and I quit cold turkey. My GPAs went up to a 3.5. I used to be a 3.8 GPA student, and I would say I have recovered around 60%.